Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is gonna be absolutely bonkers. Now, the data is in. Today, we're gonna look at a housing market collapse in map form that is happening across the nation. And we're gonna dig into two primary reasons: significant overvaluation and the high cost market areas, specifically on the West Coast. So California, in other words, is getting demolished. It's gonna be especially important for you to pay attention to what metro areas are the most overvalued and what metro areas are having the largest current price declines. If you're a buyer waiting on the sidelines, hoping to find the deal of your dreams, because remember, not all metro areas are the same. Real estate is about local markets. So those are the things that we're going to explore today. But remember, you guys, I'm not a financial advisor, even if I want to be, even if you want me to be, I'm not. This is my personal YouTube channel where I get to share my opinion, I get to rant, I get to share the data. I really appreciate you guys following along this journey with me. And I'm going to purchase a home myself right around the corner. And for all of these efforts, guys, please like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. Don't leave me hanging, guys. Shoot me a comment below so I can hear from you. But regardless, let's jump into this video. An article from Fortune titled, Update: The Home Price Correction in America's 400 Largest Housing Markets as Told by One Interactive Map. So we're going to explore an interactive map, obviously, of the 400 largest housing markets across the nation. Now let's jump into a little bit of the article first, and it goes, back in July, Redfin paid $610,000 for this two-bedroom single-family home in Las Vegas. Just weeks later, Redfin put the same home back on the market with a $674,000 price tag. So essentially, they dumped it right back on the market just weeks later for $64,000 more. Okay, so Redfin, $64,000 more. Obviously, they're trying to flip the home and make a significant profit. However, and the article goes on, however, it was too late. Las Vegas was already slipping into a home price correction. Fast forward to November, and the property remains unsold with a $499,900 list price, or 18% below its purchase price. So in other words, you guys, Redfin is taking heavy losses as a result of their iBuying and flipping business. It's astonishing, actually, if you think about the amount of losses. But not only Redfin, remember, Opendoor and Zillow as well have taken massive losses. Zillow's exited successfully out of the housing market, but right now the biggest company I believe that's at risk as far as an iBuyer is Opendoor, because Opendoor still has a tremendous amount of inventory that they need to unload. So keep your eyes on Opendoor and what's going to happen to them in the coming months, because I believe we're going to have an inventory surge and Opendoor is going to start the fire selling. A few more things about the article before we go on to the map. That type of looming loss explains why Redfin recently announced it's shutting down its algorithm-ran iBuyer business. As long as the US housing market remains in correction mode, the math just doesn't make sense. And that's true for many investors, not just Redfin. When the shiitake mushroom hits the fan, you investors want to get out of the housing market first. The way to do that is to figure out where the lowest sell is and be 2% below that. So they're saying the strategy is list 2% under market value, or 2% under, rather, the lowest sell. So the lowest sell doesn't necessarily mean 2% under market value. So that's a really good strategy, being the lowest priced house. Very interesting strategy Redfin's taking. And if it doesn't sell in the first weekend, move it down again. So this is Glenn Kelman essentially saying what their strategy is, and they're essentially marking down their house values, weekly. This is astonishing. And again, you guys, it usually starts from the top. It's going to trickle down. We're going to see investors start to do this more, and we're going to start seeing the ill-prepared investors potentially go out of business, potentially have to file bankruptcy, short sell, or foreclosure. While flippers and home builders are scrambling to move inventory in markets like Las Vegas, where home values are down 6.93% since its 2022 peak. That's not the story, at least yet, in every market. A lot of the markets are still sitting at their 2022 peak. Simply put, the shiitake mushroom has yet to hit the fan in every market. So what I really want to point out here, guys, is the investors are usually the first to get out of the market. So it's fair to say, with how unprecedented right now investor share is in our market, in our housing market, it's fair to say that we're going to see an immediate influx of inventory straight from investors, because again, they're the first to typically get out of the housing market. But not only that, you guys, home builders and property flippers are about to get and are currently getting absolutely doomed. So we're going to see an additional price decline and surge from new construction, like I've been saying, and property investors that are flipping homes, because essentially they're trapped in the housing market. And I believe those are the types of investors, the flippers, like Redfin and Open Door and Zillow in the past, are going to have to ask themselves, how much money are they willing to lose in order to liquidate those properties? So here's our map, you guys, and this is from Fortune. Now, this is representing a shift in home values since their prospective 2022 peak. And this gauge here is essentially showing us how much the losses are. If it's blue, the losses are minor from peak. If it's red, it's up to 10%. So as you guys can clearly see here, the West Coast is hit the hardest. So you guys can see that here. The West Coast is absolutely being annihilated. It's essentially saying San Diego's down 7% from peak, Riverside 3%, Los Angeles 5.8%, Ventura 5%. You can see all these western cities right here are getting annihilated as far as price decline. San Francisco 8%. You guys can see this all over the place. We go over here to Reno, Nevada, being down 8.47% from peak. Very interesting. Boise down 7%. You can see also Twin Falls. A lot of these areas, you guys, Salt Lake City down almost 7% as well. We can go over here to Oregon right here. All of these cities are down as well. As you guys can see, Seattle is down 7.28%, but not just the West Coast, guys. And we'll look over here. Here's Las Vegas, 6.9% down. Phoenix down 6.6%. So a lot of these areas, you guys, as you can see here, Fairbanks down 7.36%. Other metro areas like Denver down 4.5%. Santa Fe, New Mexico down 4.5%. Now you can see Austin is essentially the metro area with the highest price decline, which is really why I was surprised that Dave Ramsey was saying Seattle, because there's so many other metro areas, but whatever. As you can see here, Austin down, according to Fortune and this map, 10.2%. And you can also see a decline in San Antonio, as well as Victoria in Texas, Corpus Christi, as you can see. Houston is showing only a little bit down. I could tell you from the most recent updated data, Houston's down roughly 6% from peak. As you can see, though, Dallas is down 2.16% according to this map. Minneapolis is down 2.1%. Baton Rouge is down. New Orleans is down. Let's go over to Florida. As you can see, Sarasota down 2.53%. Florida hasn't experienced, decent price cuts yet. But as you can see, it's starting to kind of in coastal cities right here. It's not enough. I get that. Jacksonville at 0.38%. Also, you guys, some of these southern states you can see starting to catch up. Charleston, South Carolina. Myrtle Beach is finally getting there. Also, Raleigh, finally 4.79%. That is going down. Let's go out to the East Coast. You can see Boston finally starting to go down. That's good news for a lot of my listeners that are in that area, down 2.46%. So you can see across the nation, many of the top biggest metro areas are showing significant signs of price decline from peak. And this is astonishing because this has not taken much time at all. Now let's finish out this article, guys, and go over two conclusions that are pretty important that they're making. While the home price correction has certainly gone national, it continues to hit two types of markets harder than others. The first group being significantly overvalued housing markets. Okay, so that's especially important to pay attention to. These are often either second home markets like Florida or boom towns that saw prices during the boom soar far beyond local incomes could support. Look no further than Austin, which Moody Analytics deemed in the second quarter of being overvalued by 61.1%. That level of froth might explain why Austin has already seen home values fall 10.21% from its 2022 peak. Not far behind Austin are other significantly overvalued metros like Reno, Boise, and Salt Lake City. The second group comprises of high-cost markets along the West Coast. Places like San Francisco, Santa Cruz, and Seattle. According to John Burns Real Estate Consulting, those markets are hyper mortgage rate sensitive. In many cases, they're hit by a double whammy. Not only their high-end real estate markets more rate sensitive, so are their tech sectors, so in other words, the job market. So kind of a double whammy happening out in the West Coast right now. Now, obviously, California has the most metro areas right now that are experiencing year-over-year price decline. But let's jump into one of the other maps that Fortune has put together for us, which is essentially a map of overvaluation, which is pointing out the equity growth from 2020 to right now. So a little over 2 years of equity growth. So pay attention to what metro areas and pay attention to how overvalued they are exactly. Okay, so this map represents a pandemic housing boom gain. Okay, so it's from March 2020 to October 2022. So essentially, we're looking at massive gains right now. So starting with the West Coast, you can see while we're seeing so much price decline on the West Coast, they were essentially the highest overvalued, and that includes Arizona, Flagstaff being overvalued by 64%, pretty astonishing. Lake Havasu at 53%, Las Vegas at 41%. You can see Riverside's on the map as well as San Diego at 40%, Los Angeles at 28%. You can see all over the place, guys. And going into Central and Northern California as well, massive overvaluation. So Stockton just hit the year-over-year price decline list. Now, according to this map, it's overvalued by 40%. So it makes sense that it's on that list, guys. And if we stay on the West Coast going into Oregon, we can see all of these metro areas as well being significantly overvalued. Here's Seattle at 37% overvaluation. So many metro areas. Boise, obviously 45% overvalued. All of these cities here. Salt Lake City, you guys. Flagstaff, Phoenix, going out to Texas, San Antonio, Austin at 57%, Houston at almost 40%, McAllen at 43%, Dallas at 50%, going to Florida, Destin 53%, Pensacola 52%. And you guys can access this link. Massive overvaluation in Florida, as you can see. Tampa, 67%. So you guys access the link, check this out for yourself, and go into, some details here. Let's look at Boston, real quick. Boston overvalued by 28%, but a lot of these southern states as well, significantly overvalued. Texas, significantly overvalued. Florida, Arizona, especially overvalued. So we see many metro areas right now with extreme overvalue. Essentially, the housing market collapses, starting with California, secondly, Texas, and I believe after that, it's going to be Florida or Arizona, but we'll see. Only time will tell. Now, in conclusion, the housing market collapse is very clearly starting on the West Coast and California as usual, and it's also likely that Texas will be number 2 right behind California as far as the state to experience the fastest and sharpest negative equity growth, probably followed by Florida, maybe Arizona. It's going to be especially important not to get lazy or complacent. We must stay ahead of unaffordability and continue to strengthen our leverage as future potential buyers by improving our credit, income, and assets and our overall knowledge and mindset when it comes to purchasing real estate. Now, I really hope you guys got some value, insights, and perspective from today's video. And if you're out there investing in real estate, you know I wish you luck and I hope you win.